What's pop, y'all? This topic has been ruminating on my mind for at least 3 days, going on 96 hours right now. And it's the middle of the night, no Ellie Due, as I was just restless. And I said, you know what? I have to touch on this. It's been just my mind's been racing about this topic. I have to get it out there. And that is female rapper by the name, this is going to be a two-parter. The first part, I'm going to specifically talk about this individual's comments and give a rebuttal. And then in the next part, I'm going to address the important question, which we're going to get into a little bit later. So this individual, Rhapsody, female rapper, very good rapper, skill-wise, she would call out a couple of different people, No Jumper and Vlad being two of them.
And I think we haven't protected it enough in that way. Even in media, we aren't protecting it enough. Like even some places we go to sit down and tell our stories, we're giving it to the wrong people, I think.
The next bar you said, it was to the gate on the culture and turn the key. No Jumper and Vlad, the whole industry.
Again, like, why do we go sit down with certain people and give so much of a story away that I don't think is necessarily protected? And I'm just trying to see the angle. I just love this culture too much, and there are people that really love it and care about it, and we won't go sit down and have these long conversations with them, right? We'll talk about things that we don't like versus the people that we do like. You know, it's like, how are we being intentional with our art form and our story and our truth and who we give it to? Like, journalism matters, you know. Who holds our truth matters, and how it's presented to the world. Like, I just think we should care more about it.
A little bit of context here. You see the conversation that she's having here. It's with none other than the guy DJ Head that keep in mind, he had a show on Hip Hop DX. They made that show. A couple of different people had a show immediately after Kendrick won the beef, and everybody thought like, yo, this was going to be like the West Coast takeover. It wasn't. It was the Kendrick takeover. Yeah, he won, he dominated, and he gets his just desserts, his due. But these guys, their show quickly dissipated once that faded away and the attention surrounding the beef was gone. So DJ Head here, he's interviewing her. He has a long history, of course, on the West Coast. But she mentioned specifically No Jumper and Vlad. And this is where I have to sit here and just feel this level of disgust, because she is on a corporate platform. I think she's on, Sirius XM. She's on Sirius XM. She's doing all of this corporate stuff, and she is disrespecting two people that got it out the mud. Now, this is going to sound like a little bit of a glaze fest towards a No Jumper and a Vlad, but it's not. We're just giving the just dues, because for her to diss these people, what other alternatives do you want them to go to? And let's keep in mind, Rhapsody, as a female rapper, she's not all the way there. She has not been able to get her music, get her message out there. So clearly she's doing something wrong. Now, what is it that I think she's doing something wrong? What is it that I think she's doing wrong? She's just unable to appeal to a wide range of people. That's it. She is very niche in her topics, very niche with her level of rapping ability. Like, if you are a female rapper that raps at a very high, complex level, and you are not selling some sort of aspirational appeal for women, your niche audience is likely going to be diehard rap fans. Like, we're talking Reddit core rap fans, for lack of a better term, but really diehard lyrical miracle rap fans, or older male rap fans that are, let's say, 35 plus, that really appreciate lyricism and skill. And they were probably the younger rap fan, like the Reddit core rap fan, for lack of a better term. So you have a very narrow fan base. And Rhapsody, after being in the game for 20 plus years, she got signed in like 2008. She's been doing this for well over 15 years. Right now, she has a grand total of, drumroll please, 400,000 monthly listeners. Yes, there are 15-year-old rappers with none of the cosigns that she's had. Keep in mind, she's had every cosign. And this is why I say, and I'm very critical of her, is that there exists this tier of rapper that is skilled. You can't call them bad, but they just don't have wide appeal. They just haven't hit. And they will never hit. It's not, oh, they won't hit yet. She's been in this game for 20 years. It's never happening. And they will get a lot of corporate deals. Like, you look at her shows aren't hitting like that. And people pretend to wonder and say like, damn, man, why isn't it hitting? Well, if she was such a great representation, then there clearly isn't the support for it. And funny enough, of course, she's on Rock Nation right now. Well, she's licensing her music to Rock Nation. But she takes aim at No Jumper and Vlad as quote unquote real journalists when these people are giving a higher level of visibility to hip hop. Hey, how many people got into hip hop because they watched some sort of an interview from Vlad or from No Jumper? And No Jumper covered an entire generation of SoundCloud rappers. Every single SoundCloud rapper they got on, or they immediately got on and wanted to do a No Jumper interview. So what does that say about all the other platforms? Yeah, there was real deal journalism. I mean, he documented and interviewed XXXTentacion, Lil Yachty, all of these other people. They're really documenting right now the LA rap scene and the California rap scene. That's what it turned into for the most part. And he's still interviewing a lot of other people, but what goes viral and what the person is actually doing are two different things. Vlad solved the Tupac. That's the thing that I put out there. So what's more hip hop than Tupac? Is she going to say Tupac's not hip hop? Of course, she can't say that. Neither can DJ Head. So if the person that got every single person involved with the Tupac, all of them, and including the investigators, including the detectives, including the police officers, and paid money to get these people on. And some people were like, well, he made the money back. You don't know he's going to make the money back. There's been interviews where he's lost money on them. But he paid money, invested into this, and solved the Tupac murder. You can partially say, if you want to say that. Now, do you want to say that, oh, he's the police and he got the guy from that Tupac, or that one that's left, because it was like Orlando Anderson who ended up getting killed due to gang-related stuff. Right now, Keefe D, you could say, oh, Vlad's the police, but he helped solve and lock up the person. Now, they're not using his stuff, but you get the idea. You got to give him his due. Or you could say that he solved it and he didn't have anything to do with them arresting Keefe D. Regardless, what better piece of journalism than solving the biggest mystery? People were saying Pac was in Cuba. Nah, he's actually in Russia. No, he got spotted in Japan. Conspiracy theories. He did that. So where is this whole, oh man, I don't know why we choose to sit down with these people. She can't sit down with these people because it does no numbers. And she polls no numbers. And you can just take a look at this interview 8 days ago did less than 4,000 views. Her interviews 6 years ago did less than 3,000 views. Her interview, she did a recent interview on The Breakfast Club. It was a short clip of it on The Breakfast Club though. So she's doing a media tour right now and we'll see how the album does. I don't think it's going to do great, but all of her stuff, it just doesn't do numbers. She did a On the Radar performance. It got 648 views. She just doesn't have it. So these platforms that she's hating on, number one, these people are focused on what the people want. So they're likely not going to have her, even though they may have respect for her and her craft. Like I said, I have respect for her craft. I think she's a good rapper. But am I ever at the forefront of my mind thinking, let me turn on a Rhapsody song? No, that's not happening. And for most people, that's not happening. And I don't know if she understands that. And when she talks about, like, oh, these are the people who we should sit with, let's see, who are the people that she's mentioning? Breakfast Club? Okay, sure. But these other people that she's sitting with, they'd have no emotion. So they're not going to help an artist. And who is she to tell a rapper who to sit with when rappers are performing better than her? They're doing better numbers than her. They have bigger fan bases than her. Their shows are bigger than her. So I don't know where she's coming at it from. The only thing really that I see that she could have an ego about is her rapping ability. But to come at platforms that have actually launched artist careers, not Vlad, but No Jumper, like Comethazine came out of No Jumper. That's a whole career in and of itself. TK, I would say he assisted. Like that song, what was it? Hard with Black Boy JB. They had that one song together. There was other people that are escaping my name, but Comethazine I know for a fact because he had that first music video on No Jumper. There were No Jumper interviews that helped artists blow up after, but I would say the one artist you could mention is Comethazine. And then you can hate on with the type of artists that were coming out, but those were getting documented regardless. So I think Rhapsody is a hater bona fide hater for something like this. And when we read the lyrics of the song, because this is a clout chasing move too, because you mentioned No Jumper and Vlad, because you know it's going to get attention. You know you're going to get prompted for it on interviews. If we look at the lyrics of the song in question being No Way out of her upcoming album, God Got Afro and Gold Hoops, she says, put a gate on the culture and turn the key on No Jumper and Vlad, the whole industry. They've been tricking too long. Y'all been talking too much. Pull the curtain on Oz, show the wizardry. Knowing the ancestors God and the spirits speak, ain't no way I could leave them without a reef. Dead 'em all is the energy. Well, that says enough. All right, the bar itself says enough. But DJ Head and her would speak a little bit more on Vlad.
I actually saw Vlad, and because he had heard things I said about him and whatnot. And I'm the type of person, I don't lead with disrespect. It was just anything I say about you, I'm willing to say to you. And so he said, he was just like, he shook my hand, I shook his hand, and he was just like, I heard things and I know where you coming from. He said, I don't understand the energy. And I'm just like, well, to be honest, I just don't with your platform, and I don't really what you do with your platform. Right. It ain't personal. It ain't like I want something bad to happen to you. I don't want you to be broke.
Never that. Right.
I just don't really respect what you do with your platform, and that's it's not serious. And I know, like, my people with him, like my big homies, they with him,
right?
And I told him, like, they with you, and I've consulted with them about these things. Like, I don't know how to navigate the relationships or whatnot, but I'm just like, me personally, from where I come from and how I conduct myself, I just don't really.
I can't get down
with it. And he was like, well, I'm glad that we can at least coexist in a space, and I said, yeah, I don't have no malice intent towards you on no level.
Right.
I just don't, with whatever what you do, I can't.
Yeah.
So I let him know that, and it was respect. So
it sounds like Vlad pushed up on him, and as he does, he did the same thing with Polo G. And I don't mean pushed up on him in an aggressive manner, but he was like, "Hey, like, I've seen you say some things about me. Like, what's up with that? Can we talk this out?" And then this guy DJ Head kind of is very vague. I think it's just an emotional thing. He just doesn't like Vlad. How much Vlad has he really watched? I don't know. There's probably one thing out of the thousands of Vlad videos that he didn't like, and then he says, oh, well, I don't like this guy for that reason. And I think that is an unfair way to judge somebody. Like, if you're going to judge someone, it should be on the vast majority of their work, not one tiny little sliver of a thing, especially if they put out a ton of content. Now, you could say the way that he interviews people, but do you want him to conduct interviews like you that do no numbers, or what? Because a lot of these other people that criticize the way that a Vlad interviews, or that a No Jumper interviews, or that an independent platform interviews, they have the safety and security of some company or corporation guaranteeing their paycheck. So they can afford to just drop floppy disks into the computer consistently and not have a care in the world and just do these whimsical interviews. I'm using the wrong words now. That's how you know it's the middle of the night. I'm not on point. Even though the word does fit in this scenario, it's not the best word to use. But where they're buddied up, because it's like when Academics was on Complex, they would talk about it. Him and Joe Budden, they would get told, like, hey, look, you have to interview this person in this type of a way because we want to maintain relationships to be able to get more artists back on our platform. And the people that are conducting the interviews, in this case, Joe, who you know how he is, and in Academics, you know how he is, they're like, well, how the hell are we going to give you the content and what the people want if you want us to manage this artist appearance? So now we're turning into PR, because that's what a lot of these, like, quote unquote interview runs are, is just PR fluff. Because, right, hey, our artist's not going to come there unless you guys, puff them up, and then the person wants the artist to come there. Whereas a lot of these other platforms, which is why they deserve more respect, is that the artist respects the platform and wants to go on there, or they know that that platform is going to be able to get them views and visibility, so they go there. But that's my take on the situation. I do think it makes sense for Rhapsody to touch on this, because she's trying to tap into a very specific niche, like I said, who they're not going to like a No Jumper or a Vlad. So her taking shots at them, they're going to be like, oh yeah, she's taking, although Vlad, I think her niche, they definitely watch him. But that's the thing. A lot of people will watch Vlad consistently all the time and then say that they hate him or they don't like his platform. But but they're consuming it. So, I mean, make it make sense. I don't know. But it just goes to show neither of these people even replied to her, which, yeah, it's definitely falling on deaf ears. But we're going to talk about the journalist part, which is going to be the next video, because she sat down with Rob Markman, somebody she's calling a real journalist.
Best interview ever.
Best interview ever, man.
Who y'all want next?
I don't know.
Ain't no hiding when you sit in this chair. As you see, he see through it all. He breaks it all down. It's the best conversation when you can sit with real journalists.
So I don't know what platform this is on, because I don't know if he's still with Genius or what the deal with Genius still is, because I remember there was like a whole sale going on and it got devalued and it was unprofitable, which goes back to my earlier point of people like Rob Markman doing plenty of interviews on Genius and having these relationships with people, and he could afford to do that because Genius was funding his not only the salary that he was getting, but they were also bringing the artist via their brand. So it made things a lot smoother to where he could just focus on like asking questions. And that's an underrated part of this business too, of the interviewing business, is that these people are not just interviewing people like a No Jumper and a Vlad. They're interviewing people and running a business. Whereas a lot of these other quote unquote journalists, they had the luxury of, oh yeah, just focus on interviewing people. That's it. And that's all that they had to do, which is a lot easier. But she calls him a real journalist. And in the next video, I am going to make the claim of who is undoubtedly the best hip hop journalist of at least the past 10 years, 10 to 15 years. So I'll see y'all in that one. It'll drop the same day, probably like an hour after this one. So it should already be out. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.